Hello and welcome to Ask MotorInc, where Shumi and I get an opportunity to answer questions that you've raised in MotorInc Circles, which is on the MotorInc app, by posting your question with the hashtag AskMotorInc. Now, sometimes the questions are great and sometimes they just seem to be poking fun, in this case, at me. And this one is from Katie, and he's asking me, why are cars better than motorcycles? Now, Katie, I get what you're trying to do there. No hard feelings, man. But here's my big picture on things. I'm not a this or that guy, or especially this versus that guy. I'm a this and that guy. I can see the happiness on both sides of this fence, and I think that fence is artificial. I've sat on both sides of it, and I love being on both sides of it. The bike is always going to be a me thing, and whereas the car is going to be a us thing. And there are so many reasons and so many times where I'm happy to be in a car, not just for myself, but for the people who are with me, friends to pick up, kids to drop off, to birthday parties, to treks, to hikes, going for games. All of that is happening in a car with the family, the long drives, the night drives, which I would enjoy in a very different way when I was on a motorcycle alone. But with them, it's different and it's a different kind of fun. And I don't think I'd want to give up one for the other. In whatever percentages that I enjoy them in my life today, I'd want both. Our next question is about seat covers, believe it or not. But it's because of seat covers and airbags. What do you do in that situation? This question we've tackled before, but it's been asked again by three people: Dinesh DK, Mahan Vishal, and Yash R. Basically, they're asking, can they fit seat covers, aftermarket seat covers, on their cars if they're equipped with six airbags? The thing to remember here is a car with six airbags has two of those airbags mounted on the front seats towards the outside, which means in case of a side impact, those airbags kind of pop out to protect you. The original seats that your car comes with, those are designed to let those airbags pop out quickly, effectively, so as to protect you. Now, putting a seat cover on there will get in the way unless it has been designed again to tackle this situation. So you do have original equipment accessories like from Tata, from Hyundai, for your cars from them, wherein they are certified to work with the side airbags that you'd have on your car. Now, the question for me is, even in this scenario, is that these are going to be fit at a dealership, not at the factory. So, how well they're going to be fit onto your car will be a question mark. And for me, being as cautious as I am, this is something I just skip because I do not want anything getting in the way of the basic safety systems working properly when they need to. Simple. Our next question is from RMK Row, and it's Forrest Kushak. He's having rat troubles. He's already had a few nibbles from a rat, and he's wanting to protect his car better. And I get it, man. That's scary, honestly, because you imagine leaving your car parked and turn up one morning to start it up and it just won't run because of some critter. Now, there are a few solutions that you can apply easily. I think the one right on top of my list is something from 3M. They have this rat repellent spray and another liquid that you can use, which you just have to spray around, apply around the bonnet area, around the car, so that it keeps rats away. Now, I would definitely try this first, but the one thing I would try even more than that is to see if I could adopt some cats. I'm serious. Just get strays. Just feed them milk, give them some food, make sure they hang around your parking spot. If you can manage that, you've got the best security force against rats. I've lived in a place where rats could have been an issue, but because of the number of cats around, there was never a problem, man. Be kind. Feed some cats. Our next question is from Swastik B. He's asking about what he needs to do to park his car for 3 months because he's going to be away for 3 months. And when he gets back, he plans to head out on a 3,000-kilometer trip. The car that he has is a Maruti Suzuki Swift from a few years ago, about 5 years ago. Now, there are two ways to think about this: things that you absolutely have to do, and things that you like to do. In the things you absolutely must do is practically nothing. Cover the car, fuel it up, and that's about it. And that's so long as the battery in your car is in good health. Because I've done this for one of my neighbors, Nanda auntie. She used to travel across the globe every year. She used to be outside the country for several months in a year, and I would be taking care of her car in the time that she was away, a little Alto. That car needed nothing. It was kept in a covered parking, it had a car cover over it, and all it needed was every few months, I would go and crank it up. Every once in a while, I would drive it out. And this was happening to the car year after year. And for the time when Nanda auntie would be in town, that car was being used regularly every day. But then for 6, 7 months of the year, it would go back to sleep. And nothing bothered that car. It was only maybe 5, 6 years later that the battery started to go weak, and then I had to use the battery tender to kind of get it topped up to keep it running. But that was about it. So for your Swift, as long as the battery's in good shape, you really don't have to think about much for this once in a blue moon 3 month trip. If you were to do this on a more regular basis, or if you just wanted to feel good about your car, then you could definitely do more things, which includes disconnecting the battery for the time that you're away, making sure that you're spraying rodent repellent. That would also help because the car is going to be standing in one place for a long time and not be used. You make sure that the cabin has been cleaned out, get the car serviced before you park it up. You can also protect the wiper blades by putting something soft under them because they're going to be sitting there just in one position for very long. And, well, lots of small things like that. But by and large, if you're thinking about, is there anything you need to worry about if you're parking your car for 3 months? Nah, just go out, have a good trip, come back, start the car up, warm it nicely, and drive it gently for the first bit. When you get going again, let the brakes smoothen out a bit, let the tires kind of warm up again, let all of that happen, and then drive quicker. The only thing to keep in mind, though, is in our E20 world, make sure that the gas tank is filled all the way up. Fill premium fuel if you can, so that the separation between the ethanol and the petrol and the water that it tends to draw doesn't happen in the tank, which can be a problem. Our next question is from Kumar Vaibhav, and this is about fuels. He's asking how can he protect his cars, which are E0 or E10 compliant, from the E20 or the upcoming E27 fuels? Well, this is not going to be a happy answer, but here's the best that you can do. For your current E0 and E10 cars, what you should do is use premium fuels because they come with additives which are meant to protect the internals of your engine. And that's the big worry with the E20 and E27 fuels because they will corrode the mechanical parts and some of those rubber parts quicker because those parts are not designed for these fuels. Now, the caveat here is the premium fuels aren't going to stop this process of corrosion and wear and tear, especially with rubber parts. That's still going to happen, but they can at least slow some of it down so that your vehicles will keep running a little bit smoother and a little bit longer. As for when E27 comes and you're running E0, I have no idea what's going to happen, and trust me, that's something that I am not looking forward to. I'm definitely not. Our next question is from Indrajit S, and he's asking about the range in an EV getting affected if he adds sound damping or sound insulation materials in the car. Indrajit, just think about it simply. The thing that affects range is weight. A heavier car will travel less for a given charge, which is the same thing like fuel efficiency. If you have more people in a car, the fuel efficiency goes down because it's carrying a heavier load. So, in the case of an EV or a petrol car or a diesel car, if you were to increase the weight of the car, in this instance, you're talking about sound insulation, you'll be adding some mats or maybe spraying some foams so that the car is quieter and the cabin is more enjoyable. The weight will go up, and so it will affect the range. But the good news in this is, if it's done properly, the weight will go up marginally, and that will not make a significant enough difference in your range of the car overall. But if it's done properly, the experience in the cabin could change dramatically and be a significant improvement in your driving experience of the car. So get it done properly, and I think that will still be worth it. Our next question is from Nagpal, and he's asking about his 2019 Nexon diesel AMT. He wants to improve its NVH. There's one question that I have to ask you right up front. Is the car well maintained or not? Has it been serviced? Because if the injectors are not clean, if the engine is not running well and it's not smooth, then it will seem noisier than it should. Having said that, even a well maintained engine will feel noisy compared to the competition because this is an engine that's on the noisier side. So, if you want to distance yourself from this noise, then your only option is to improve the sound insulation abilities, which can be done via mats or sprays. Mats can be applied on the floor, on the firewall, and sprays can be used in the doors and in little crevices so that the sound from the outside is blocked. This is something that sounds simple, but it needs an experienced hand to be able to use the mats and the sprays in the right way so that you get the best experience while not spending a stupid amount of money and wasting these tools that you have at your disposal. Our next question is from Ajay 1988, and he's asking, how do I get my documents back from the bank after the loan is done? Ajay, I just wrapped up my loan on my car, and the bank doesn't have any documents. The thing is, today when you buy a car on a loan, your RC has a hypothecation stated on it from the RTO. When you complete a loan, the bank will courier your NOC, which is a no objection certificate, to your registered address. With that NOC, you have to submit your papers to the RTO to get the RC updated, basically proving that you've paid your loan and therefore this car is now directly your property and is no longer hypothecated to the bank. Once these papers are submitted to the RTO, those changes will be made to the RC and that will then be couriered to you as well. That's all. So, if you have any more questions for us that we could help you out with, do write to us in the MotorInc app in circles using the hashtag AskMotorInc. We'll be happy to answer your questions, and Shumi will, of course, be up next week answering your bike queries. Thank you so much for watching.